What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea All Shade Queen Sugar Season 2 Episode 2 review. So we start off this episode with Darla. She's at work when Ralph Angel and Blue come by her job to see her. And he brings her some beignets and some coffee, and he asks her out on a proper date and refuses to leave until she says yes. And I was just like, I love you, Ralph Angel. Like, my panties just immediately disintegrated in that moment. I love that man so much. Oh my God, I just love him and Darla's whole relationship. I frankly said yes to the date before Darla even did. He didn't even ask me out the date. So Nova goes to the barbershop to pick up tips for the community bail fund. There wasn't hardly anything in the can, so she's kind of disappointed. She's talking to the men, saying, you know, I'm not trying to call nobody out, but we really need your help. And she invites them all to the community fundraiser that night. So the owner, who I think his name is either Dre or D, I think his name is Dre, Andre, is feeling her, and I was feeling him too, because he is a tall drink of chocolate milk with his waves and his beard, and he's just tall, and he's just cute and sexy. And I was like, if you don't want to give him the draws, no, I will. So Nova was kind of like a little shaken up by him. She didn't really know how to handle all this chocolate dick, because she been out here fucking white dick. You know, so she don't know what to do with no big mandingo dick. So Nova goes to see Aunt Vi at her house, and Aunt Vi is cooking for the, you know, the community fundraiser thing, and they discuss Michael, who has returned to school already after the police incident. He isn't eating and is acting like nothing happened. So she goes to his bedroom before he goes to school to talk to him, but he says that he's fine. She knows that he's lying, but she decides to let him be. So Charlie comes into the kitchen and tells Nova that the meal loan should be coming through in a day or two. Mind you, she forged David's name so she can get this loan. So she also tells Nova that her and Davis are meeting for their final divorce mediation, and that she didn't want her and Aunt Vi to know, because she knows they would make a fuss over everything, and she tells them that she can handle it. And Aunt Vi says, how is Micah taking all of this? And Charlie says, you know, he's fine. It's a process. He'll be all right. He's resilient. And Aunt Vi says he has a lot to process with the divorce and being stopped by the police. Like, Charlie's not really getting that her son is like hanging on by a thread. Like, this little boy is going through some shit. Like, his whole life has been flipped upside down. So Michael walks in and overhears their entire conversation. So then we see Ralph Angel. He goes to buy the soybeans from a man by the name of Mr. Cyrus, who tells him that he's making good decisions like a real farmer, and that his dad would be proud of him. And that makes Ralph Angel feel really good. So Ralph Angel goes to get the money from the bank so he can pay for the soybeans, but the guy at the bank tells him that he can't just get it based off his signature. Charlie has to co-sign for it too. So he's pissed off because she didn't let anybody know that she made changes to the farm account. So he and Blue go to the diner to see Aunt Vi. He asks Aunt Vi can she watch Blue while he handles business for the farm. And Blue looked talkative ass and told all the tea and tells her that he's taking his mama out on a date. So Aunt Vi was like, you know, you sure you know what you're doing, you know, getting back involved with Darla, because, you know, she ain't really feeling Darla like that. And he ignores her and tells her that he needs to go speak to Charlie. And she tells him that it's her divorce mediation and to give her some grace today, even though that they beefing. So he like, all right, whatever. And he sees Remy sitting at the counter. So he goes to talk to Remy about Charlie messing with the farm account. And Remy apparently didn't know that she did this either. He like, man, your sister, like, she a trip. Like, me and her going through some things right about now. And he tells Ralph Angel tells him that he's trying to plant a soybean crop, and Remy says, and you need to buy seed. Realizing that, okay, now I understand what's your beef with Charlie, because she fucking with the damn accounts. And Ralph Angel says, I'm tired of going to Charlie every time I need something. And Remy tells him to try for a loan, and Ralph Angel says, ain't nobody gonna give me a loan with me being a felon. Remy tells him, don't say what somebody won't do. The loan program is for young farmers like yourself with no capital and little credit. So Ralph Angel says, well, maybe I can do it by myself. And I'm like, Ralph Angel, you can do it. Believe in yourself. Like, don't let your circumstances define your future. So on his way out, Nova invites Ralph Angel to the fundraiser, but he says that he doesn't have time for it right now. She's like, damn, like, what the fuck is wrong with him? So Charlie is headed into the mediation, and her lawyer reminds her that Davis has agreed to all of her requests and that it's almost done. So in the meeting, David requests that he and Charlie speak alone to the mediator and everyone else in the room surprise. So they in the room alone, and she thinks that he wants to change his mind about the money and property, but he really wants joint custody of Micah. And she, of course, says no, because she's just being a bitch. And he says after what happened with the police, it's important that I be around him, which I 100% agree. And she says he's the last thing that Micah needs. And I'm like, see, Charlie, you letting what happened between you and him help you make decisions on his relationship with his son, and that's not fair. He did you wrong. He cheated. He fucked up y'all marriage, and he ruined the family. Granted, what he did was fucked up. But at the end of the day, that's that boy's father. Every boy needs his father in his life. And she's trying to punish him for cheating on her, and that's not fair. Whatever happened between them should be between them and should not affect his relationship with his son. And she's being one of them typical bitter-ass ex-wives, baby mamas that's trying to keep the son or the children away from their father to spite him. And that's very wrong. So, David says, well, I talked to him, and he's in favor of me having joint custody. And Charlie is blindsided by this news. And so she rushes out, and she calls Micah, and we see that she's at Micah's school. And apparently, Micah decided to take his ass and leave school early. He's just wandering around the city. And he just tells her, Mom, I need some time right now. Just give me some space. And she's on the other end of the phone, silently in tears. And I felt a little bit bad for her at this moment because she's trying to reach out to her son. And she's trying to figure out what's going on with him and reel him in. But he just needs a moment to process everything. And so she says, just make sure you call me. And then they hang up, and she just breaks down on the school parking lot. So Nova is back at the barbershop at the end of the day to collect the money from the little can. And the guy, Dre, was able to get her some more money, and he also put some extra money from his own pocket into the little can. And she's like, you ain't have to do that. And he's like, I'll do anything for you. And I was like, girl, you better hop on that dick. Shit, what the fuck are you waiting on? So apparently they slept together the other night, and he can't stop thinking about what happened or her. And Nova, cool for school ass, says it was cool, but let's just leave it at that. So he like, damn, because women don't usually treat niggas like they just, a piece of meat, like this dick. So he tells her that she can call him whenever. She's like, all right, So at this point, we don't really know if she's feeling him or what, but I want her to start feeling him because he is the truth. So at the diner, Roberta tells Aunt Vi that the rig Hollywood is on had an explosion. She's freaking out and she's calling him, but he doesn't pick up. So Micah decides that since he wants to catch the bus, but his old rich ass don't even know how to catch the bus. He get on there thinking you can swipe a credit card. The bus driver's like, I need cash or a bus pass, and he holding up the line. She's like, you gonna have to move so other people can get on. So he decides to get off. And I was like, if that ain't my child, because my child has never rode the bus, he's never been on the Metro Link, Tyrese wouldn't know what to do getting on the dang on bus. So that was just really funny to me. So Ralph, Angel, Darla, and Blue are having dinner, and they're both very nervous about being on a date with one another. And Ralph Angel's dressed up, and it's just a really cute little scene. He tells her about trying out for the loan, and that Darla's telling him that she's really happy for him. But while they're talking, Blue is making, a lot of noise and disturbing him. And Darla tells him, Blue, sit down. Like, shit, sit your ass down. And Ralph Angel's like, he's just playing. And Darla says, that's not how I want him to act in public. Like, it's a time and a place for everything. He needs to learn how to sit his ass down. And I 100% agree with her. Like, he wasn't really being bad. But I hate when them little kids be in restaurants and shit to be playing and looking all over into your booth, and you be like, God damn, you turn your ass around, like, where is his parents? So Ralph Angel says to Blue, it's just new for you, huh, buddy? And he agrees. And then Ralph Angel says, it's okay, it's new for us too. And then he looks at Darla, and I was like, oh, I just love y'all together. So Charlie's back at home, and she decides she's going to call her mama. And I forgot that she even had a mama. But the mother does not pick up. And so we find out that she hasn't spoken to her mom in a while, and she really needs her mom for support right now. And she tells her mother on the voicemail that she misses her and that, to call her when she gets a chance. We're going to get to see her mama this season. Oh. So back at the restaurant, the waiter comes over and asks if Ralph Angel and Blue and them want dessert. And Blue says, we want dessert. He holds up his little doll. And the waiter says, I think you should, get a transformer. And then he realizes that he offended Blue. And so Ralph Angel looks at him and he says, we're going to get 2 ice cream sundaes, all the toppers y'all got, one for my son and one for his dog. You got that? And the waiter was like, yeah, I got it. He walks off. And me and Darla was looking at him like, shit, I suck your dick now later. I was like, stick up for your son, Ralph Angel. So Charlie goes to see Remy at his house, and she tells him that she had a rough day and that she thought by the end of the day she would be divorced. And Remy tells her, I don't normally receive visitors today on account of it being the anniversary of Charlotte's death. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be here. I should leave. And he says, well, you're here now. You might as well keep me company, bitch. You can disturb my ass. So she admires his home. It was the first time she's been in there, and she sees that his wife was in the Army Reserve. So he explains to Charlie his last conversation with his wife. And as he's talking to her, we see Aunt Vi waiting at the station to see if Hollywood gets off the bus. And so Remy is crying, talking about his wife's death, and says that he wouldn't have gotten through it if it hadn't have been for Charlie's dad. And then we see Hollywood get off the bus, and Aunt Vi just runs to him and runs in his arm, and they just holding each other. And I was just like, hallelujah, they back together. So Micah ends up at the fundraiser later on that night, and he listens to his aunt speak about, poor black people being locked up because they're basically poor black people. And so we go back to the restaurant, and Ralph Angel decides he's not going to leave a tip for the waiter, but Darla tells him that he should so they won't sink down to his level. Ralph Angel then confesses that the truth that he only brought enough money for, dinner. He didn't really have enough for dessert, so this is all the money he got. He ain't leaving this nigga no tip. So Darla wants to leave a tip, but he was like, no. And he's like, I brought you on a date. I'm supposed to do this. And she says, you don't have to play a role for me. We are way beyond that. Let's just be us, who we are, honest with each other. And I was just like, that was just such a really cute and endearing moment. She's like, you ain't got to front for me. I know you ain't got money like that, but one day you will. And until then, I'm going to ride with you. We going to do this together. We a family. And after that, Ralph Angel calls the loan people and says that he'll get the letter from his employer and the title as soon as he can. And then we see him hold up the letter from his father stating that the form is his. So he really don't need none of this information. He already got proof. So Remy and Charlie are eating pie, and Remy apologizes for pushing her to make a choice before she was ready because he was trying to make up for the last 4 years of him being by himself. He tells her that she's the first woman that he wanted to know since his wife died, but he has to give her the time to grieve her marriage first. And so she's just sitting there soaking it all in. And at the rally, we see Nova jump off the stage when she sees Micah in the crowd, and she runs to him and she hugs him and she tells him, everything is going to be okay. And the episode goes off. So I give tonight's episode of Queen Sugar a A. It was so good. I can't wait till next week's episode. Also, if you're a part of the Call Me Pink book club, this month's book pick for June is She Rode the Bus. The link will be down below in the description box. Also, my new novel, Cranes in the Sky, is available on Kindle and in paperback. The links are down below as well. It's a best-selling book. Thank you all who have already read it. And also, me and Monique are preparing for season 2 of Since You Asked. So if you have questions about your family, your relationships, your job, your kids, whatever, you just need advice on anything, or you want to just ask us questions, please email us at since-you-ask1@gmail.com. That email address is down below in the description box as well. I love you guys so much, and I will see you this Sunday for my Power Season 4 review and my Claws review. Also, watch the Claws review from this last Sunday, my Love and Hip Hop review, and Basketball Wives. Love you guys so much. Oh, and a new episode of Since You Asked is up as well. Love you guys so much. Bye.